Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You are tuned in to the Vitamin D with Dawn Dai podcast. And guess what? I'm Dawn Dai, your host, here to get you excited about your life so that you can live life on purpose and for purpose. So welcome back. Now, if this is your first time tuning in, I would like to say welcome to you too. Vitamin D, it's a pun off my name. My name is Dawn, and you know how you get vitamin D from the sun, right? Well, I'm here to shed light into your life. And I want to be clear. While vitamin D is all about shedding light, being all about positivity, inspiration, and motivation, with this shedding light, we shed light on the good and the bad. Because if you want to be better and you want to do better, guess what? You're going to have to be able to see better. And I do this with inspirational insights and conversations with celebrities and everyday people like you and like me. And this is a journey unraveling as to what it means to live your best life and what it truly means to be your greatest asset. You are your greatest asset. If we look at the life bank account, you come in first place. Now it's just deciding and discerning what type of deposits and what type of liabilities or withdrawals are you making into this account. It exists, the good, the bad, the add-ins, and the deductibles, but it's about finding that balance. And that's what we do. We talk that out. We work it out. We figure it out. We understand that there are no periods, just commas, ellipses, but it ain't over until it's over. And while oftentimes, if I'm not having a conversation with someone else, if I'm not giving you affirmations, if I'm not on a check-in, I'm doing something called the Vitamin D advice letters. It's where I go into the Vitamin D email bag and I receive email letters from some of my listeners about seeking advice on relationships, work, love, anything with life, anything that they just need to shed some light on. And like I said before with the podcast, it's shedding light on the good and the bad. So when I'm reading these letters, I'm going to keep it real with you. Okay? It may not be always something that you want to hear, but if you want to be better and to do better, you have to see better. And that means seeing the truth. And we know the truth by the way it feels, right? NDRE said it that way. So I go in here and all these brave souls that write these letters, I reply, I make my notes, and I let you know how I feel. And if you would like to submit a letter, if you're like, oh, I think I mean to email Dawn, make sure you send the email to VitaminD@DawnDaiSpeaks.com. Simple as that. Send it, put it in the subject, say what it is. We'll keep you confidential, and then you just tune in. And who knows, you may hear us reading your letter live on the podcast. Available wherever you get your favorite podcast. So without further ado, let's dive into the email bag because now it's time for your dose of vitamin D.
Get your vitamin D right here with me and get excited about your life.
All right, guys, we are diving into this letter today. Subject, I'm leaving, but should I be quiet about it? Dear Dawn, so I found out that my job is planning to fire me. My boss wanted me to clear out his emails, and the dude didn't even take the time to archive or hide important company documents. I don't know what to do. They were talking about letting me and a lot of the staff go in the next few months. I was kind of in shock when I saw them. I was going through just deleting what looked like mostly junk. This guy uses his work email to sign up for a lot. And then I came across some emails that are like downsizing staff and getting rid of the fat. It was almost disgusting. The disregard they had showed for the people who work for and with them. I'm at a loss. I don't really care about this job. I'm an executive assistant making middling pay, and I have kind of been looking for an out. This at least gives me a deadline, but that's not everyone. I'm 23. I can start over, but some people have been here 10, 15 years. I definitely feel in my soul that I should tell them, but here's my issue. Among the folk getting fired is a particular brown noser who wouldn't believe me if I told her the sky was blue. She always kind of thought I was aiming to take her spot, but I didn't even want to be here for another year, let alone move up. I worry that if I tell her, then she'll tip off the bosses. But I also know that I can't expect to tell everyone else and it not get back around to her. If that happens, then they might just let me go before I have the chance to get my things in order, find a new job, or maybe plan to move back home. How should I handle this? Ooh, child. You need to mind your business. Because right now you're doing a little way too much. But guess what? You're not the only one. I, too, have came across emails from my boss that wasn't in the pleasant way. And I'm sitting here saying all this in front of Jeremiah. Don't be going through my emails. He shakes his head. But let's delve into this letter. So the first thing I wanted to say is that mind your own business. And I say that in the most positive way. You know, you came across an email that talked about letting you go that was not even sent to you. So let's dissect the letter. You said, hey, so I found out that my job is planning to fire me. You went on to say, I don't really care about this job. You're an executive assistant, middling pay. You don't care because you say that you're 23. Now you're feeling this conviction that you should tell them, but you have an issue. There's someone in your office who feels as though you have been trying to take their position over the years, and you worry that if you were to say something, that they're going to go ahead and tell the bosses, or flip the coin that if you tell enough people, it'll get back to her or him, whomever it is. You said her. And then they're going to find out if it's you. Now, the reason why you're concerned is that you said you have a chance to get your things in order, find a new job, or maybe a plan to move back home. Like I said, you're doing way too much because, you know, things happen to take in a maturity way, and it's no shade. It just happens when you live a little longer, and people used to always say this to me, oh, just live a little longer, you'll learn. You have to realize that even if you did plan on leaving already, you have to leave with grace. You have to leave with a stand-up character. Just because you're leaving this job, everybody knows somebody. They say, what is it? Your net work is your net worth. So somebody knows somebody, and you don't want to leave on bad terms. You don't want it to come out there that you're snooping around the email. Take it as a blessing that you got the heads up. Now, when I talk about there's a level of maturity here that needs to be applied is because there are boundaries. Yes, you got the blessing of knowing what was in the email, and I use blessing loosely because then it dictates your life. Because if you weren't happy with your job in the first place, bruh, ma'am, you should have been out. What are you waiting on? Why are you staying stagnant? That's oftentimes that I think it's a problem or become an issue with people who are not living their authentic life, who are not living their best life, or feel like as though if they don't have a purpose, it's because they're waiting for somebody else to give them permission to fly and not realizing that birds are meant to fly because that's why they got wings. Okay? So you said, hey, you're thinking yourself, you want to do everybody else a favor of telling them a heads up. But what does that look like? And what kind of commotion, what kind of turmoil does that breed? You're in a situation of your boss thought highly of you to let you in on the emails. Just because you are going to let go does not mean that it is some type of vindictive vendetta. I don't even know if that makes sense, but it's not like it's a ploy to come take you out. It's just about what's happening in the company. And as the term is disgusting as you said it may sound, trimming the fat, the excess. Now, if you want to do this and apply this to the correct way, perhaps you need to figure out how to make yourself more valuable. But guess what? That's not an option for you because you already plan to leave. But for everybody else, it may seem like the right thing to do, but there's a thing where you just need to mind your business. Now, like I said before, my time coming up, I too came across emails where it wasn't necessarily spoken positively about me. And I pride myself on the way that I work. I pride myself on my work ethic because that's my name. And when you're talking about my dreams, I don't play. And there was talk just saying that I got distracted. And it was mainly because I think because I was excelling and not everybody can take the shine. And I don't mean this to sound braggadocious, but you could not make a complaint on my work. I was doing things to infiltrate relationships, raising money, creating opportunities as an intern. And while you were employed, I was only a couple years younger than you. And I had people up there talking about, oh, she thinks she's too good for this. Oh, little does she know, we behind all the tricks. And I'm thinking I'm showing up being present. But one thing that I will say, whether it's, at least in your situation, it wasn't like they were talking bad about you because of what could seem like a hateration or just negatively. They're simply saying possibly because of budgets, they can't keep you from staying there. But even in my situation where I knew that it wasn't necessarily something positive, I had to make the right decision to move with character, because that's the stuff that will follow you like a shadow. It will be something that people can sniff on you before you even open your mouth. It will be an energy that people can detect the moment that you walk in a room. It will be a whiff or a smell that can come through an email before they even met you in person, because people talk. And you have to realize that you have to take everything with grace. So yes, you might want to be Superman, Superwoman, but fall back. As they say, slow down, 𝘝𝘪𝘵𝘢. You're moving too fast. Now, you said that you also don't want to say anything because you haven't gotten yourself in order. So you so concerned about everybody else, you don't even have your stuff together. Thank God, like you said, you're only 23. So maybe you got time to waste. Thank God you're in a situation where an option of you is to move back home. Other people ain't got that option. So you have time. You have more flexibility. So while you up here trying to just cause a fire because you're smelling smoke, you're not even realizing where that smoke is coming from. You're not even realizing where that smoke can blow. So, and I say that because you haven't even got your own stuff together. And that's another thing that we talk about this podcast, how you are your greatest asset. If you are not good to yourself, what can you do for someone else? So now you in a situation, a bundle of confusion, because you're trying to figure out and rectify everybody else's livelihood of how they can do something, and you haven't even figured out. You keep being messy. You keep looking in the emails. You didn't say you did it more than once, but I'm assuming that probably once you saw it, you're probably going to be more tempted to go back in there. You're going to keep playing with fire. You will get burned. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think personally in this situation, you need to focus on you. And focusing on you is one, why are you in a job that you find you have no business in? I know that you're only 23, but you're going to have to start getting into the habit of making decisions about what do you want. Like you said, the stakes aren't that high because you're young. You have an option to go back home. But what happens when you create the habit of being in situations that you know that doesn't deserve you? See, like I was saying in my situation when I had decided to leave my internship because I too had stumbled upon some emails. And just as I looked at how I've grown, my decision of leaving a job or to blossom from a job is because I had to reevaluate the soil I'm in. What am I planting in this soil? And right now that soil wasn't fertile, whether it be because of somebody else's doing or because my placement wasn't there. So looking at your situation, your placement isn't there. Nothing that you want to grow from or how you want to move forward with your life is in this job. So I'm not really sure about what good can come of it, whether or not you up here blasting and telling someone else and you don't even have your own stuff together. Play your position and mind your business. That's what I think is the best way to go about this. Because anything further of going to tell somebody else, you can cross the lines. You don't know what the circumstances. You don't know what that can bring out in somebody else. That can cause some major confusion that could be rectified with something simple. Just because somebody is letting go here doesn't mean that they're not going to be transferred into another opportunity. Just because they're releasing somebody from this position does not mean that they're not in the talks of a higher position in the company or in another department. And here you go, because you think you so big and bold, you want to beat your chest and be Captain Save Somebody with your cape on and not realize that you can cause a mass of confusion. And you need to get yourself together and figure out what it is that you want. I've said it on previous episodes. How you do anything is how you'll do everything. Get in the mode of understanding what serves you, because if it doesn't serve you, it doesn't deserve you. I know that this doesn't serve you because you had already said that you don't really care about this job. The thing that's striking me, and this is why I'm so passionate about it, is because time is our most valuable coin. Once it's spent, it's gone forever. You are wasting time in a job that you don't want to be in. You're an executive assistant making middling pay. Yes, money is important. The fact that it's middling pay, I'm more concerned about the fact that that's not what you want to do. Now, you said you want to look out for everybody else 10 to 15 years. Where you going to be at the next 10 to 15 years? You trying to save everybody else and you the one drowning. So what, you going to lead them to down under? I'm just saying, and I'm not trying to be shady or anything like that. And here you have a coworker who you say that's not in your corner that can either do one or two things. She'll tell the people off the bat what's going on, or you've already kind of summarized what can happen on the other end. Everybody gets to talk. And of course, if Brown knows her, she's probably friends with everyone else. It's going to tell anyway. So then you have to evaluate, how do you win? That goes back to the first thing that I said, mind your business, and there's a level of maturity that needs to be done, because now you need to look at all moving parts. Now, I'm not taking this away from you, because it's not like you just went ahead and you jumped at it because you wrote in and you're asking. So I'm saying that you need to leave this alone, but more importantly, you need to find out what you want to do. And, Lil Wayne said this. He said, real G's move in silence like lasagna. Catch it. Are you gangster or no? Gangster for your dreams, gangster about your play, gangster how you gonna make your next move your best move. You don't have to ring the alarm on this. You need to figure out what it is that you want, because right now, after evaluating, it's a lose-lose situation while you're trying to broadcast. You got to understand what's the breadcrumbs for you to lead you to your destiny. And thank God you were fortunate. Thank God you got a glimpse. Thank God that you got a heads up that you're about to be wading in the water by yourself. Now you got a little bit of a life raft. You got a little bit of an extension to get to where you need to be. Now, how do you make your next move your best move? If you're in a situation that you have a finite time to decide what your next move is going to be, take advantage of it. Do you hear me? Now, me, I'm a dreamer. So I may not always have all my moves calculated because I got my purpose. And I know what my vision is. So that allows me to have some free flexibility. So if I knew that I wasn't happy, whether it was tomorrow or today, I know that greater is coming, because if it's designed for the purpose I have in my life, everything is working for my greater good. I may not understand it. That's just my spiel on it. But I say to you, mind your business and mature a little bit. You don't need to be going out there disrupting everyone else's life. I know you want to help, but if you're in a situation, if you telling everybody and you can't even control how it may get back to the wrong person, you have no business talking. You don't have any credibility. Now, one thing you did not say is how long you've been here. Yeah, you just said that you didn't plan on being there for another year and that you didn't want homegirl. You wanted to stop it from homegirl to think that you were taking her position. So how many people are going to believe you and your credibility? I mean, you're 23 years old. You just talked about the fact that there are people that have been there 10, 15 years, basically half your age, more than half of your life. And looking at you, going about finding information. And on top of the fact, what you going to tell them how you found this out? What you going to say? You went through the email? What are you going to say? Hey, I was cleaning out emails, and because I was nosy and overstepping boundaries, I saw that we're all getting fired. What? I don't know if I would trust you. You got to move with integrity. Integrity is everything. That's your character. Integrity over everything else. So that's your answer. Mind your business. Okay? But guess what? I thank you for writing in. I appreciate you. And I'm not overlooking the fact that you had a good heart and your good intentions were to help people. But based on just life experience and just based on people, that's not something that you should handle. That's why you have certain people that are managers, that are directors, that are vice presidents, because they know how to relay information. We know how information come across, and people are losing their lives about it. We just had a whole pandemic last year. Do you know how many people were out of work? And here we are, we're just stepping out of it. And here you go up here releasing news that people about to get fired. Like, that's not cool. Because anything can change. I don't know about you, but I live in an impossible lifestyle. So what could have been on that document? Your name could be erased the next book. Anything is possible. So get out their business, okay? All right. So I want to welcome you that if you have some advice, or maybe if you want to comment on the letter, shoot an email. VitaminD@DawnDaiSpeaks.com. I welcome you. Relationships, career, life. I don't know. Anything you want some light on. I'm here for it. I'm here for you, boo. And I don't think I was too harsh. Sometimes I can come off a little harsh. But again, it's only so you can be better. That's it. So go ahead and send them emails. I'll be on the lookout. Jeremiah will also be on the lookout. And we'd love to hear more also. I hope you've been checking out all the episodes. You know that we have our interviews. We have our affirmations, we got our advice letters, and we also have our quick doses. Man, we're filling up the pot real quick. It's a bundle of inspiration so that you can live your best life. So tell your friend to tell your friend, then to tell all their friends about us, okay? And then also make sure you check out our YouTube channel at Dawn Dai Speaks. We got the vitamin D episodes, we got the quick doses, we got the highlights, we have tons of nuggets of information that will better serve you, okay? Also, I know how many alsos until I stop. Also, I want to encourage you that if you want some more vitamin D outside of listening to the podcast, you're like, what is Dawn up to? Follow me on all social media at Dawn Dai Speaks, okay? I promise I'll respond. And I want to say thank you. Thank you for holding out with me. We just hit over a year with the Vitamin D with Dawn Dai podcast. Yay! Woohoo! Consistency pays off. I'm looking forward to many more episodes to go, many more talks, many more conversations, many more affirmations, just many more inspirational insights with you. And I appreciate you for joining me on my dreams. Okay? So follow me at Dawn Dai Speaks. And until next time, I want you to always remember, you are your greatest asset.